Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. ISIS terror in America. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. 26-year-old Osama Rahim shot dead on Tuesday by an FBI agent and a Boston police officer. His nephew, 25-year-old David Wright, has been arrested by federal agents in the same case. Apparently, these men were inspired by ISIS to kill Americans. One other suspect is being investigated in New England. Enter anti-Muslim activist Pamela Geller, who allegedly was a target of Rahim and who has been criticized by the Southern Poverty Law Center for rabble-rousing.
Are you stoking the flames? Do you, on some level, relish being the target of these attacks?
Relish being the target. Who self-promotes to get killed? That's the first thing. The second thing is the Southern Poverty Law Center. Really, Erin? Since when? Who designated them the arbiter of anything? They're an uber-left group. They don't track jihadist groups. They don't track groups that actually target for slaughter.
Ms. Geller is correct. The Southern Poverty Law Center does not concern itself with terrorism, concentrating on protecting minorities like Muslim Americans. There is no question the ISIS threat is growing here, and the FBI knows it.
We closely analyze and assess the influence groups like ISIL have on individuals located in the United States who are inspired to commit acts of violence. These threats remain among the highest priorities for the FBI and the intelligence community as a whole.
Well, that's good, because ISIS is a threat to every single American. Somebody tell President Obama. It is almost beyond belief that these militant jihadists have been allowed to accumulate power. The group should have been confronted a long time ago, but America and NATO do not have the will to protect their populations. It's a lot like Al-Qaeda before the 9/11 attack. Back then, U.S. intelligence knew Al-Qaeda was growing in strength and training people in Afghanistan for terrorist missions. We knew that, and we did little. Now, ISIS is growing in power, threatening a half dozen countries and encouraging violence all over the world on social media. So it's just a matter of time before ISIS-driven violence happens in the USA. Good police work prevented that in Boston, a city very vigilant since the Boston Marathon terror attack. But the cops can't stop everyone. And believe me, ISIS fanatics are infiltrating at this moment into this country. And troubled people already here, like the group in Boston, are heeding the call of the jihad. Meantime, President Obama still does not have a strategy to defeat ISIS in Syria, where it's based, or in Iraq, where it's causing an enormous amount of trouble. This week, the bogus 60-nation coalition against ISIS met in France to discuss what to do. As of this evening, those discussions have produced nothing. Again, there's little will to do what's necessary, confronting the ISIS fighters where they are and killing them. Bombing's not going to do it. We've tried that for nearly a year. ISIS continues to gain power. So 3 cheers for the FBI and the Boston police, which put an end to a murderous plot. But 3 jeers, with a J, to the Western nations that continue to dither over the terror threat. And a jeer to CNN for challenging Ms. Geller in a totally inappropriate way. In this case, she was a target, and that should have been the headline. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction. Joining us from Boise, Idaho, Mike Baker, former CIA agent. Here in New York City, Michael Balboni, former director of Homeland Security for the state of New York. So why do you think President Obama is reluctant to take action against ISIS directly?
He ran on the whole campaign of withdrawing the forces from the Middle East, and has not really formed a foreign policy that directs what we should be doing. That's a vacuum, is a void. You know, Syria, the bright red line. We haven't had a coherent or consistent policy.
Is it incompetence or is it ideological?
I think it begins ideologically. We don't want to get in the Middle East. We're war weary. That's understandable. But at the same time, you can't expect the United States to step back away from the situation and not expect any repercussions. The oceans are no longer enough, particularly with ISIS, that, as you pointed out, have a very sophisticated recruiting mechanism.
And the social media are all over the place. Mr. Baker, do you agree with my analysis that this is almost exactly like the Al-Qaeda threat in the late 1990s? All right, U.S. intel knew this group, Al-Qaeda, was training in Afghanistan, and we didn't do anything about it. And then, bang, 3,000 Americans are dead on 9/11. I think it's exactly the same thing. What say you?
Well, I think it's very similar. I think it's actually worse now than it was then. Look, this is not like the Al-Qaeda model in a sense, and the problem is that now the extremists have their strongest recruiting platform that they've ever had, and that's the physical manifestation of a caliphate, the Islamic State, the actual territory that you referred to. And the fact that that exists is one of the primary reasons they're having so much success in pulling people into the dark side.
Okay, but let me stop you there. Let me stop you there.
Sure.
The same thing existed in the late 90s in Afghanistan. If you wanted to be an al-Qaeda recruit, you could go there because the Taliban were in charge, and you could get into a camp, a physical camp. All right, al-Qaeda had a physical presence, just as you rightly pointed out, ISIS has. So if you want to join ISIS, all you do is show up to a town in Syria and say, I want to, you know, and they'll either behead you or put you in a black uniform, one of the two, depending on, you know, how you can convince them. So why is the threat worse now than it was back then?
Well, it's an actual caliphate. What they had in Afghanistan, Al-Qaeda had essentially a fenced area that they could plot, plan, and train for, but it wasn't the extent. It's not, again, this caliphate they've been jonesing for.
So your opinion, the ISIS victory or the ISIS success is more than the Al-Qaeda success was before 9/11. Now, let me ask you the same question I asked Mr. Balboni. President Obama gets intel reports every single day. He knows more than me or you or Mr. Balboni. He sees it, all right? They give it to him. Is it incompetence he has no strategy, or is it ideological in your opinion?
I don't think it's ideological. I think it's essentially managerial incompetence. I don't think he's up to the job, frankly, and I think that they are incurious to some degree about how this plays out among the various players. They're hopeful and they're naive in their hopefulness that somehow the Saudis and Jordanians and others will take this fight. Look, we're at the top of the food chain. They don't want to be. I mean, the White House isn't comfortable being at the top of the food chain.
They don't want to
trying to withdraw.
I think you're right. I think that's a lack of leadership. Now, the solution, in your opinion, to the ISIS problem is what?
That we have to produce a counter narrative. They're out there, and one of the dangers that they really have is they get the person sitting on the couch here in America to join this fight. That is so difficult for law enforcement and security forces to be able to track and respond to. Yet what we're not doing is, so they're the most sophisticated terrorist group we have on the net. Why aren't we responding to them?
Yeah, but you're never going to convince nuts. If you're nuts and you hate America, I mean, no matter what the USA said, they're not going to convince you not to.
Look at the kids who are leaving middle class or wealthy lives.
Yeah, but they're troubled kids. You know that.
We have to identify them ahead of time. We got to stop them. But here's the thing we also have to do. We have to make sure that in the Middle East, people know that when you go overseas and you get involved in these, there's a really good chance that you're not coming home.
All right. Now you can get that message out. Mr. Baker, last question for you. How would you confront ISIS had you the power?
Well, first of all, we've got to take away their territory. So we've got to get, we're going to have to be at the pointy edge of the spear. That means we've got to get more involved. As you pointed out rightly at the beginning, the limited air campaign is not going to do it. The other part of the fact is when you talk to the Bureau, when you talk to state and federal law enforcement that worry about this every hour of every day, two things stand out. One is the fact that we have open investigations. Law enforcement has open investigations, hundreds and hundreds of them in every state of the Union. Several hundred investigations into violent extremist cases here in the States. The other problem is there is no profile. When you say, what's the single profile? How do we identify these people here domestically? There isn't a single profile. It's the white male Muslim convert. It's the teenage girls. It's the Iraqi refugees. It's an extremely difficult task
I mean, that's
to
why
identify.
We're lucky we have good people, but I think it's just a matter of time. Gentlemen, thanks very much for a good discussion.